Greetings and welcome to Hexed Encountered. My name's Joe. In this video, we are going to be playing some Red, White, and Blue Racin. We're going to be doing the 75 Years of Racin Tribute Collection. So these are the big cards just released. You might notice the board here is a little different. Everything's laid out landscape-wise. We do not have an area for the bottom group. But what we do have are some nice, big, beautiful cards here. So if I did do a first look, so if you're curious about, seeing all the drivers or whatever, I would suggest going to take a look at that. So the first thing I did was I divided my drivers up into groups as recommended in the setup for the game. And they are divided into red, white, and blue. I also shuffled them, so these are just the guys that are on the top, and I'll actually be working from the bottom when I need to. So here in the directions for this, it kind of talks about, you'll notice a new red, white, or blue annotation. This is a new wrinkle we introduced because they wanted to figure out how to do the race week qualifying. So each driver is assigned to a color-coded group. Right? And then we separate them by colors, which I did. All of the red drivers are in race week. So these guys are all good. They're in. Right? Then the white group, we shuffle and randomly choose 6 cards. These drivers are considered not to have participated in the race. So we're going to go to the bottom here, as I said. And I'm just going to take six out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these 6 guys... Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, Bobby Isaac, Martin Truex Jr., Bobby Labonte, and Denny Hamlin, and Kurt Busch. Is that really 6? That is 6, yeah. A lot of modern, current guys almost in this group, but these guys are not going to be in the race, unfortunately. So now we have those 2 stacks, and then for this stack, the blue stack, only 6 of these guys actually get into the race. So again, I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have Casey Kane, Dick Hutcherson, Ernie Irvan, Marvin Panch, one of the old timers, AJ Foyt, that's a famous racing name, and Jeff Burton. So these guys are in, and these guys are out. Okay, so I didn't actually talk about where this race is going to take place. So you do get track cards with this set, and we are going to be racing at Darlington. Figured I would go for an intermediate and the Southern 500. So this is a 50-turn race. Darlington does not have any die roll modifiers for escape or repair. And we'll talk about this as we play. I'm sure NASCAR fans are familiar with Darlington Raceway. This is a 1.366 mile paved track. The only change will be in the last 4 turns, you would use reflex instead of control on a die roll of 2, which doesn't happen all that often anyway, but it could. So the next step here is to take all of our drivers who are eligible for the race and shuffle them. And then we will basically draw them out and follow the regular procedure for determining fast week, slow week, TV drivers, etc., etc. All right, so let's roll to see how many TV drivers we get. Take our metallics. We get 10, so 10 TV drivers. They are shuffled now and upside down, so I don't know who they are. We get Kyle Larson, Fireball Roberts, Cale Yarborough, Tony Stewart, Tim Flock, Joe Weatherly, Matt Kenseth, Kyle Busch, Bobby Allison, and Jimmy Johnson. That's quite a group. This is an all-time great set, and I would say that is a pretty good selection of excellent drivers. So these are our TV drivers. I will draw out their cards here in a bit, but first things first. But we'll do Kyle Larson first. So we will have to figure out what his placement is, and we use the Race Week Events Guide for this. So first we will roll against the TV week. So you have a TV week list chart here. So we'll roll on this. Maybe we get some interviews. So let's see what we get here. So let's roll the red, white, and blue. And I roll all three because I'm trying to keep myself in the habit of doing that. So 33 is TV event X, which is on the next page. So let's roll again. And we get 3, 6, 3, 6, and then a 1. Appearance on daytime TV talk show, placement C. And placement C for a gold trophy driver is blue die position in the middle group. The blue die is on the 1. So he goes right here. And our next driver is Tim Flock. So we'll roll for Tim Flock. He gets a 1, 2, and then if we need the blue die, it's a 4. So the 12 is driver appears in charity event Race City, placement C. So he's also gold, so he will, oh wait, Kyle Larson's bronze. Oh, he's just trophy driver. All right, so we're good. So Tim Flock is going to slot in right next to him. Joe Weatherly, he's a silver. Our silver, we get a 13. Is Rex during qualifying, placement D, so that's bad. So he's going to be our first guy in the bubble stack. So I'm going to put the bubble stack, here's the bottom group. I'm just going to put it right here. I don't think anybody's a non-trophy driver in this group. So we'll move on to Tony Stewart now. And we get a 15, and a 15 is TV interview. So now we roll on the interview chart. And we get a 12, or a 21 rather. And as I never felt better in a car than I did today, everything I wanted to do, it did. Placement A. So Tony Stewart, placement A, he is a silver trophy. So silver or bronze trophy gains blue die position in top group, which is a 3. So he's going to be right here. He's going to start 4th. And I will replace these with their gold cards here in a little bit. Next is Fireball Roberts. He gets a 62. Sanctions issued for minor rules violation, placement D. He's a silver, so he's going to join Joe Weatherly. Cale Yarbrough. And he gets a 66, so this is probably going to be something special, and it is. It's TV event X. And this time it's a 34, and 34 is a rules violation. Placement D. Everybody's cheating here, bro. That's not good. All right, Matt Kenseth. 12. That is driver appears in charity event Race City, placement C. He is a bronze trophy. Placement C gains blue die in middle group. That is a 3. So Matt Kenseth is going to be right here. Next is Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch gets a 14, which is a positive fan interaction during race week and solid times. Placement B, gold driver, placement A. Kyle is a silver, so he will get silver placement B. That is blue die in top group. That is a 5, so he will go into the 5 spot, which is right here. He will start 6th, and we go to Bobby Allison. He gets a 16. Hot week in hot laps. Placement A plus performance chip. So Allison is a gold. He is going to be our pole sitter. And he gets a performance chip to boot. So that's a good job for him. And now we get Mr. Jimmy Johnson. He gets a 45. And a 45 is a TV interview. 32. Sometimes we forget how blessed we are to do this for a living. Hopefully I can turn this into a big win for Lowe's Racing, since that's who he drove for. Placement B. So he is a silver. Placement B, top trophy driver gains blue die in top group. It is a 1, so he gets to go to the 2nd spot. So not too shabby. So I am going to replace these guys with their gold cards. So I will take a pause here for a moment. Now we'll roll for fast week drivers. And we get 10 again. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so we'll start with Buddy Baker. So for fast weeks, we just roll them and then we stick them out based on their trophy. So silver gets highest position in top group. Bronze gets highest in middle group, which would be 10th. Gold, bronze, bronze, bronze. So as you can see, we've drawn out Mark Martin, well, Buddy Baker, Mark Martin, Chase Elliott, Alan Kulwicki, Jeff Burton, and Dale Jr. Casey Kane, he's a bronze. Dick Hutcherson, he's a bronze. Ernie Irvan is a bronze. And Dale Earnhardt Sr. is a silver. Oh, yeah, man, yeah. He goes here. All right, now we'll do slow week drivers. So these are the unlucky guys. 6 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, Davey Allison, bronze, bubble stack. Dale Jarrett, bronze, bubble stack. Silver, bubble stack. Silver for Herb Thomas, bubble stack. Red Byron is a bronze, bubble stack. Darrell Waltrip's a gold, so he goes in the bottom group. So he's the first guy in the bottom group. Now we do the rest of the drivers here. So we get Bill Rexford, who's a bronze, and they go to the bottom group. So he goes behind Waltrip. David Pearson is gold, so he'll go here. Fonty Flock is silver. Silver will go here. And the rest of them are either going to be, they're all going to go into the bottom group. So let's see how many we have here. We have 2, so that's 21. So we have 22 spots left. 1. So we have Benny Parsons. We have Dave Marcis, Bill Elliott, Fred Lorenzen, Ned Jarrett, Kevin Harvick, Richard Petty, the king, starting in the bottom group. Lee Petty, his dad, starting in the bottom group. Joey Logano, bottom group. AJ Foyt, bottom group. Marvin Panch, bottom group. Rusty Wallace, bottom group. Jim Paschal, bottom group. Buck Baker, bottom group. Junior Johnson, bottom group. Terry Labonte, Jeff Gordon, Ricky Rudd, Curtis Turner, and Carl Edwards. That's it. All right, quick correction. I actually miscounted. There were room for 2 more drivers, so Fireball Roberts and Cale Yarborough actually do make the field. And we get a 3-5. So 3 is the middle group, and a 5 is reflex. So middle group reflex. Wow. Whew. Here's our lineup, our middle group here. So we're looking for reflex. Fonty Flock, no. David Pearson, no. Ernie Irvan, yes. So Ernie Irvan's got 3 gas. So we'll roll. And he gets a 3-1-3. So the 3 gas is good. The 1 indicates he's going after Jimmy Johnson, and 3 break on the blue. You got 2 here plus a break bonus for top group. That means he does not succeed. So we move on to Dick Hutcherson. Whoops. And we get L at 11. So we get a 1-1-4. So he's also looking at Jimmy Johnson, but he has 4 on his blue. So that means he's actually going to be able to take that spot. Okay. Alan Kulwicki gets a 2-6-2. So the 6 is Dale Earnhardt, and that is not going to work. Matt Kenseth. 2-4-2. So the 2 is good, obviously. The 4 would be Mark Martin, and the 2, 2-4-4. So he's looking at Martin. 4 break. Martin has 1 plus the bonus is only 2, so they're going to swap. We go to Dale Earnhardt Jr. He gets a 2-6-2. So guess what? He's going against his dad here. And the 2 on the blue won't get it done. So Senior holds off Junior, and we go to Jeff Burton. 1-6-1. So this is not going to work either. He does have only 3 gas, but the 1 will get that. And again, he's looking at Dale Earnhardt, and that's not going to work. So Tim Flock, Fonte's brother here, gets a 1-4-4. So he's looking at Hutcherson, who actually has no break at all. So Flock is going to go to the top group and take the 2nd position. He is one of our TV drivers. We have 4 TV drivers plus the leader in the top group now. And that's it. That's it. That is the end of turn 1. And we move to turn 2. 2-9. So at 2-9. 2 is top group. 9 is star. So there are some definite stars here in the top group. So we will start with Dale Earnhardt. They will be challenging the leader, which means the white die does not matter. We get a 5, and he does have 5 gas and 5 brake. The problem is Allison has a chip, and the performance chip allows you to ignore the result, basically, and just hold them off. So Earnhardt does not get the top spot. Our next star, actually, he's got a star twice, so he can try again. And this time he only gets a 2 on the blue, so that's going to shut him down because he gets a 2 break bonus, and he's got 1 break, so that's 3. So he is held off. Kyle Busch does not have star. Matt Kenseth does. He rolls a 6, which is above his 4 gas, so that is not going to pass it. Stewart does not have star. Buddy Baker does. He gets a 5-2-2, so that is also going to fail despite his 5 gas, because the 2 on the blue, again, the bonus is 2, and he has 1, so he's got 3. So that ends turn 2 as Bobby Allison shakes off a couple of challenges there. We go turn 3, 5, 6. So 5 is bottom group, and 6 is skill. So we will start with Darrell Waltrip. He does have skill. And let's see what we get here. So he gets a 6, which is above his gas, so that's not going to work. Bill Rexford. He gets a 4. He's only got 3 gas, so that does not work. Benny Parsons gets a 6, so that isn't going to work either. Dave Marcus does not have skill. Bill Elliott does, and it's starred, which gives him 2 cracks at this. So he gets a 4. That's in his range. A 5 on the white means he's challenging this group. And with the odd, or even rather, he's going after Jimmy Johnson, who has 2 break, but that's a 6. So Bill Elliott is actually going to take this spot. Jimmy Johnson's going to drop into the bottom group, surprisingly. Rough start to the race for him, so we'll go to Fred Lorenzen now. And he gets a 5-2-1, so the 5 is too high, so that does not work. Ned Jarrett does not have skill. Kevin Harvick does. The 4 on the gas is good, 6-6. So he's looking at Pearson. So Pearson will lose his spot to Harvick. And now the King is up, and you know he's going to have skill. Oh my, he rolled triple. So this is going to be a problem check, which should not be that much of an issue for him. He does have an A. We will roll on our problem finder. We roll a 64, which is engine trouble, roll for repair. Okay. So we will roll for repair. Now, he has, as I said, a pit crew of A. He rolls a 6, and we are in the first third, which you can't see the chart, but first third, problem 11 or under for A, so that's easily passed. So Richard Petty does not end up having a problem, but he does end up going to the bottom of the group. Now his father, Lee Petty, he rolls a 6, so that's higher than his gas, so he does not get that. Joey Logano. Ooh, 3-6-6. So the 3 is good. The 6 is here. And he's going for Fonty Flock, so that's going to actually work for him. Now AJ Foyt. He gets a 6, so he's not going to succeed. Marvin Panch. 5-5-5. So again, we roll triples. We have to check for a problem. 25 is cooling problem, roll for repair. His pit crew's a B. So we will need to roll a 9 or less. And we roll a 12. So Marvin is out of the race. So he's our first to drop out. Rusty Wallace. Oof, he had a lot of high rolls. So the 6, he's got 5 gas, but the 6 ain't going to cut it. Jim Paschal, he rolls a 6 as well. He actually doesn't have skill anyway. Buck Baker, no skill. Junior, no skill. Terry Labonte. Let's roll for Terry Labonte. 1-1-2. Well, the 1 and the 1 would be good. The 2 actually is good as well because Larson does not have any brake. And now we go to Jeff Gordon, who has a starred skill, which means he gets two cracks at this. And if he succeeds, he can actually try again to actually move up all the way into the top. 1-3-3. So the 1 is good. The 3 would be Chase Elliott, who has no brake. So Gordon moves up there. And now he can try to actually move up into the top. 3-1-4. So he's looking at Flock, who has 2 brake, but he rolled a 4, so he actually gets to move all the way up to the top group. So strong move for Jeff Gordon. Ricky Rudd does not have skill. Curtis Turner, no. Carl Edwards. 6, so nope. Fireball Roberts, no. Cale Yarbrough. Can he escape the back of the pack here? 2-1-5. I think he's going to. So 1 is Labonte. He does have 2 brake, but he rolled a 5 on the blue. So Yarbrough goes there. Then we have Richard Petty. We're back to Richard Petty, who is in the back. So that is the end of turn number 3. And we move on to turn 4. We get a 3, which is a middle group, and a 7, which is control. So we're looking for control in the middle group. We will start with Joey Logano. He gets a 1-4-3. So the 1 is good for sure. 4, 3. Kenseth brake is 2, so that is going to work. Kevin Harvick. 616, so no. Doesn't have control. Bill Elliott does. 451, so the 4 is good. The 5 is Bush, and the 1 is not gonna succeed. No. Tim Flock. 414, so that's Gordon. Gordon's got 3 brake, but he rolled a 4, so Gordon drops into the middle group. Now we go to Mark Martin. He has a 255, so 5 is here, and he's going to take Kyle Busch's spot. No, Jeff Burton has control. He rolls a 435, so he's looking at Tony Stewart, and Tony Stewart does have 3 brake, but that's not going to be enough. Oh, Burton's only got 3 gas, so that's not going to be enough. No control. And Cale Yarborough, can he make it to the top group? He rolls a 452. So the 2 is going to make it a failure because Martin does have a brake and he gets the 1 bonus for being in the top group. So that fails. Yarborough stays in the middle group, currently in the 8th position. All right, turn number 5. 2, top group, and 8. 8 is Smart. Smart in the top group. Dale does not have it. Mark Martin does. And he gets a 1 and a 4. So that's going to be, actually no, because he has control. So he has 4 brake, so that will not work. So Allison has 4 brake for this particular scenario here. Oh, actually, it's Smart, not control. So Smart, it's starred, so he's actually got 5 brakes. So you're going to need to roll a 6 to wedge him out of here. And that's a really good roll for Logano, but that's not going to do it. So that fails. Tony Stewart has a starred Smart. 413, so that one fails. We'll try the second one. He does have 4 gas. 3, if that 6 was on the blue, he would have succeeded, but he does not. Not Smart. Flock, last chance, and he fails. He does get in there, but the combination of the 2 Smart plus the 1 brake plus the bonus makes 5. That's not gonna be successful. So that's turn 5. We go to turn 6. 111. Interesting. So this is top group, and 11 is a problem. All right, so the first thing we do is roll for our problem finder. So driver finder table, red die indicates specific driver in top group unless doubles. If it's doubles, we get the leader. So not doubles, but it is a potential problem here, or a problem for Tim Flock. Let's see what that problem is. It is a 65, which is black smoke from under hood, roll for repair. So his pit crew is a B. We are still in the first third, so he needs a 9 or less. And he gets an 8. So he's in, he stays in, but he goes to the bottom. Here, and we have to see, Cale Yarborough is going to get a chance to get in here, and he succeeds because his gas is a 5. So he makes it to the top group, despite starting all the way in the back. Terry Labonte can move up. And he does. There you go. There you go. All right, that was turn 6. Now it's our pit stop turn. 2 and 9. Or 4, 5 rather. So 2 is top group. 4 and 5 switch places. So that does that. And then over here we do the same. These 2 swap with these 2. And we roll now for fast pit. So we're rolling against the fast pit number here. We will start with Cale Yarborough, who needs a 9 or less. Gets a 6. That's a chip. Haven't had a duel yet, but I'm sure we will with 50 turns. Mark Martin needed a 6, so he does not succeed. Dale Earnhardt, a 10, so this is almost a layup here. Joey Logano needed a 7. A 4 for Tony Stewart, so he also succeeds. It's fast pits for everybody so far except Mark Martin. And Buddy Baker also fails. All right, so what this does is mean Stewart moves to 2nd, Logano to 3rd, Dale goes there, Yarborough goes here. And this is our order coming out of the pit. Now we'll roll to see who challenges Bobby Allison. It is Tony Stewart. So we'll roll on Tony Stewart here. He needs a 4 or less. And he rolls a 6. So Allison, stubborn, holding on to the lead. That is the end of the pit stop turn. That is turn 7. We move on to turn number 8. 5, that's bottom group, and 6 is skill. So we're looking at skill in the bottom group. We'll start with Tim Flock, who does not have it. But you know Richard Petty does. 2, 1, 6. He's moving up. And he's moving all the way up to 9th. I'm sorry, 8th, actually. So he's moving up to 8th. So that's how you do it when your name is Richard Petty. Darrell Waltrip. 114. So he's looking at Burton, and that's going to work for him as well. So Waltrip's going to move up. Rexford. 4 fails. Benny Parsons. 2, 5, 6. So 5 is here. Even is Casey Kane. So Parsons moves into the top group. Marcus, no. Jimmy Johnson. 1, 5, 6. So the 1 is good. The 5 is here, and it is odd. So that's Bill Elliott. Jimmy Johnson jumps back into the middle group. Lorenzen. No, he rolled a 6. Jarrett, no skill. Pearson, starred skill. So this could be a big move for David Pearson here. And he also rolls a 6, but he does get to try again. And he rolls a 6 again. Sometimes the luck is just not on your side. Now Lee Petty gets a 5. He only has 4 gas, so no. Frankie Flock, no. AJ Foyt. He's a 4 or less on the gas, gets a 1, 1, 3. So that would be Waltrip, and the 3 is better than 1. So AJ Foyt moves up to the top group. Rusty Wallace gets a 2, 1, 5. So that means Richard Petty actually gets to drop back down, and Rusty Wallace takes that spot. Paschal, no. Buck Baker, no. Junior Johnson, no. Kyle Larson. 1, 3, 4. So he's looking at 3 and odd. So that's Kolwicki. So Kolwicki is going to drop down. Chase Elliott, no skill. Ricky Rudd, no. Curtis Turner, no. Carl Edwards. 3, 3, 4. So that would be Kyle Larson. Carl Edwards jumps up. Now Fireball Roberts does not have skill. And Tim Flock is our last. Actually, no, he already went. And, yep. So, that is that. That's turn 8. Let's go to turn 9. 6 means a duel. 4, or 5 rather. So it's the number 5 car in the top group. That's Buddy Baker. He's got a 5, so he's definitely going to duel. The problem is these guys all have chips, but he can try and take Tony Stewart's chip. So we'll roll for that. He rolls a 6, so he actually fails, and now he has to check for trouble. Yeah, he has to roll against his trouble rating. So his escape is a 7. He needs a 7 or less, and he rolls an 8. So he does have trouble. So now we roll against his trouble, and we are in the first third, and his pit crew's a D, so he actually needs a 6 or an 8 or less. He rolls a 10, so Buddy Baker has wrecked, and he's out of the race. Let's see if Rusty Wallace takes the next spot. He does. Fireball Roberts needs a 5 or less to move up, and he gets it. So he's in the middle group now. And we go to turn 11. A 1, top group. 5 is Reflex. Reflex in the top group. So we'll start with Rusty Wallace, who just joined the top group. He gets a 4, 6, 1, so that 1 is going to kill him. Mark Martin gets a 2. Oh, he's got it. He has it. Because he's got 2, plus 1 is 3, plus the 1 for Reflex gives him a 4, but 6 is higher than a 4. Mark Martin takes the lead here in turn 11. Might be short-lived, though. Cale Yarborough. Yep, and he keeps his chip. Now Dale Earnhardt rolls a 3, 3, 6, so he also, well, now they both have a chip, so we roll one die to see if they keep it, and they do. They both keep it, but no change. Logano doesn't have Reflex. Tony Stewart. 1, 6, 5, so again, both have a chip. We roll to see if they keep said chip, and they do. So Cale Yarborough holds on and is in the lead here as we go to turn 12. 3, that's middle group. 8 is Smart, rather. I almost said Control. So Smart, the first one with Smart is Terry Labonte. He rolls a 2, 3, 3. So the 2 is good. The 3 would be Dale Earnhardt, and the 3 on the break is not enough. So that fails. No. Benny Parsons. 1, 1, 1. That is triples. So he's got a potential problem going on. 5, 4. 5, 4 is bumped from side, internal damage, roll for repair. So he is a C. We are still first third. He needs a 5 or less. Rolls an 8. So Parsons is out with internal damage. Which is actually the top. Kyle Larson needs a 4 or less. It's a 3. Top group 7, Control. So let's see. We start with Bobby Allison. Now again, Cale Yarborough has a chip. And he rolls triples, so he's going to have to roll for a problem. He rolls a 35, which is tight in turn to end of bottom group. So he's going to go to the top of the pile here. Rusty Wallace. Now we'll check AJ Foyt to move up. He needs a 3. He fails. Dale Earnhardt Jr. passes. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. grabs the top group open slot, and everybody else slides up to see who moves up. Curtis Turner needs a 4, a 5 or less rather. Rolls a 4. He gets it. I got to remember to keep rolling all 3 dice, because if they roll triples, then they get a problem, and I always forget to do that. 2, 5, 6. So that's actually going to be good enough. So Yarborough is going to lose his chip, but not his spot. Dale Earnhardt now can take the top spot, and he rolls a 6, which is too high. He does not have a star, but he does have a chip, so he's going to spend his chip to take the lead. Could be short-lived. Joey Logano has a chip, so it is going to be short-lived. He'll spend his chip, and he'll take the lead. So Logano now in the lead. Dale in third. Tony Stewart, the only one still possessing a chip, and he's sitting in second. On to 14. 3 and 3. So 3 is middle group and 3 is heat. So heat, this is always a fun one. Who has heat? Curtis Turner has heat. 4, 6, 4. So the 4 is good. The 6 would be Dale Jr. and the 4 is certainly good enough when he's only got the 1 break. Next guy with heat is Terry Labonte. He's got a 2, 6, 3. So he's going to swap, make Curtis Turner stay in the top group very short-lived. Kenseth, no. Johnson, no. Harvick, no. Irvin, no. Edwards, no. Gordon, no. Kyle Busch, no. And AJ Foyt, no. So that was a quick one. Turn 14, only a couple of guys with heat. So let's move on to turn 15 here. 3, middle group, and 9 is star. Star in the middle group. Well, Dale Jr.'s got a double star, so he gets to take the first crack at this. Rolls a 1, 3, 6. So 3 is Cale Yarborough, who has 2 break plus 2 stars, is a 4. So that is still not low, not higher than that 6. So that takes care of that. And Dale Jr. can now challenge Logano for the lead. And he rolled a 3, which is good, and a 3 here, which is also good. So Dale Jr. to the lead. What a move. So both Earnhardts have now claimed the lead, at least a little bit of a lead for a moment. All right. The next star would be Fireball, and he's also a double. He rolls a 6 the first time, so that's not going to get it done. And he rolls a 6 the second time too, so that's a flame out. Matt Kenseth, 3 is good. 2 would be Dale, and a 3 break is not going to be good enough. 3 on the blue, not going to get it done. Jimmy Johnson. 1, 5, 1. So that 1 is going to kill him. He can't take what Rusty's spot here. No, Ernie Irvan. 1, 2, 6. So that is going to be good enough for Ernie Irvan to jump up into the 3rd spot and bump Dale Earnhardt down to 12th. And Jeff Gordon. 2, 2, 3. So that's not going to last very long for Irvin. As Gordon moves into the top group. Kyle Busch, no. AJ Foyt. 2, 1, 5. Well, that is good enough to knock Tony Stewart out, but Stewart has his chip, which he will spend to keep his spot, and that is the end of turn number 15. We get triple sixes, so that's a 6, which is a dual, and a 12, which is the number 2 cars in the middle group. That would be these guys right here. So they have an attempt to duel to move up, so we'll start with Ernie Irvan. He'll try to take on H.A. Foyt. He rolls a 6. That's too high. Irvan now has to roll for a problem check. He gets a 13, which is multiple problems, unable to continue. So Ernie Irvan is the next racer out. Now Carl Edwards will also challenge A.J. Foyt. He rolls a triple 6, which is a bad result anyway. So we're gonna now see what his problem is. He rolls a 36, which is vibration drop to front of bottom group. So he is going to go to the last card here. And now we have spots to fill. Yarborough move up. Now we need to check who moves up. I'm not going to do a check for Carl Edwards since he's already gone down. Next one up will be Ricky Rudd, who needs a 3 or less. And he gets a 2, so he's up. And then after that, the next one is Chase Elliott, who needs a 3 or less. He gets a 1, so he is good. And that is turn 16. We go to our second pit stop turn. and it's a 5, and then the doubles would indicate that the drivers in the in that position actually commit a pit violation. I'll have to go to the bottom of the bottom group. So which that would send Labonte, Rudd, and Elliott all to the bottom, which means they go. I think they should probably go in the other order like that. So they go to the very bottom, and but we need to check for fast pit now for both groups and the leader. They all have an opportunity for a fast pit here. So we'll start with Cale Yarborough, who has a fast pit of 9. He rolls a 5, so he has a fast pit. Kyle Larson has a 6, rolls a 7. Fireball has a 6, rolls a 5. Curtis Turner, 6, rolls a 10. Kenseth has a 7, rolls a 10. Jimmy Johnson has a 10, rolls a 6. Kevin Harvick has a 7, rolls an 8. Dale Earnhardt has a 10, rolls a 4. Kyle Busch has an 8, rolls an 8, so he's good. And AJ Foyt with a 5, rolls a 9, so he's not. Rusty Wallace, 7. That's too high. Mark Martin has a 6, rolls a 9. Joey Logano has a 7, rolls a 9. Jeff Gordon has a 9, rolls a 7. And Tony Stewart, who has an 8, rolls a 7. And Dale also gets to have a chance. Dale Jr. needs a 6, gets a 7, so no. All right, so now we have to reorder this a little bit based on our fast pit. So basically, the guys who got one will all move up. And we'll need to backfill now before I determine who's going to challenge Dale Jr. coming out of the pit. So this one actually worked out because these two were at the top anyway. So what we'll need to do is we'll check Kyle Busch first. He rolls a 6.44, so that will not move him up. Dale Earnhardt gets a 6.64, so that will not move him up. Jimmy Johnson gets a 5.15, so that will move him up. So he moves up here. These guys all fill. And now we start at the back and fill those spots. So Carl Edwards is first. He needs a 3 or less. Gets a 1. Next up, Alan Kulwicki. He moves up. And next is Junior Johnson, who has a 5, so that's a pretty good chance. And he gets it. So there's our new members of the middle group. Now let's see who challenges Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the lead. It is Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart has a chip, so he is going to win this challenge, even though he doesn't roll for it. He'll give up his chip. And he will take over the top spot here in turn 17. And we move to turn 18. We get a 1 and a 4. So top group number 4 is Trouble. So Trouble in the top group. All right. So we start at the top with Dale Earnhardt here. And we roll against their escape rating. So his is an 8. He gets a 10, so he's collected. Gordon, he's an 8, but he can use his chip. You can't use your chip against problems, but you can use it against trouble, so he will not be collected. Logano, he rolls a 9, he's collected. Mark Martin rolls a 5, so he's okay. Rusty Wallace has an 8, rolls a 7, he's okay. Jimmy Johnson has a chip, and he rolled a 7, so he doesn't need to use it. So we have Logano and Earnhardt in a wreck. So we'll need to check them against their pit rating. So we are in turn 18. So we're now in the middle third of the race. So we'll start with Earnhardt. He's got a B pit crew in the middle third. He needs to roll an 8 or less. He rolls a 9, so he is out of the race with a wreck. Now we check Logano. He's an A, so he needs a 9 or less. And he gets a 5, so he's okay. These guys are going to move up. We'll check to see if Kyle Busch takes that spot. He rolls a 6, so he does not. Dale Earnhardt rolls a 2, so he gets it. So Dale Jr. wrecks on turn 18. Oh, Logano actually has to go to the back of the group. So he's going to be on top. He goes to the back of the bottom group because of that. I almost forgot that. That is what is supposed to happen there. So Dale moves up. We can check Fireball Roberts now to see if he moves up. And he does. So he takes the 7th spot. Cale Yarborough up to 9th. He started in the bottom, so he's made some progress here. With Buck Baker, needs a 4 or less. It's a 1. And then Jim Paschal with also needs a 4 or less. Gets a 2, so that's that. And that was turn 18. We move to turn 19. And we get a 6, so that's going to be a duel, and 9. 9 is number 5 car's middle group. So these guys right here. So a 4 and a 5 gas pedal wise, so that's pretty good. So we're going to try to take the chips away. So he's going to challenge Kyle Busch here. And he succeeds, but Busch has the chip, so he'll spend it. And then Junior's going to challenge Cale Yarborough. And he also succeeds, so Yarborough will lose his chip as well. And conversely, I think they get a chip anyway. I'm going to play it that way. I don't really know if that's true, but I'm giving them a chip for winning their duel, which I forgot to do previously, and I always forget that, and that's a problem that I am continuing to work upon. So now we move to number 20. Turn 20. 3, middle group. 10, TV. So TV drivers in the middle group. We have a few. We have Larson, Kenseth, Yarborough, and Kyle Busch. So we'll start with Kyle Larson. He gets a 4, 1, 3. So 1 is Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon has 3 brake, so that is a tie. That tie goes to the defender. Kenseth gets a 2, 3, 1. So the 1 is going to sink him because Rusty Wallace here has 1 plus that is 2, so that's no good either. Cale Yarborough gets a 3, 2, 6. So he's actually going to bump Mark Martin, and Cale Yarborough has surged into 3rd place. Now Kyle Busch rolled a 6, so that will not do for him. That is turn number 20. And Cale Yarborough has surged up into the 3 spot. Now we get a 5, bottom group 8. 8 is Smart. So we're going to start looking for Smart. So no, 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 yes. Kulwicki is our first contestant. Gets a 3, 5, 4. So 5 is Dale Earnhardt. He's got 3, but he's got a chip. So that will do to save that from Kulwicki. Wait, Kulwicki also has a chip. So since they both have a chip that they could use, we roll to determine if they both use it and keep it, and they don't, they both lose their chips. So now we go to the next Smart driver, who is Carl Edwards. He gets a 2, 3, 4. So he's challenging Rusty Wallace, and he does have enough. Wallace has only 2 brakes because he has 1 brake plus 1 for the bonus for being in the top group. That's not good enough. Next is Kyle Larson. Rolls a 3, which is good. A 4, 2. So 4 is Jimmy Johnson. He's got 2 brakes plus the bonus. Not going to do it. Curtis Turner rolls a 5, which is good for him. And a 4 and a 1. Again, Jimmy Johnson, a 1 on the blue is not going to work. Next Smart is Kevin Harvick. Gets a 1, 4, 6. So that is going to mean Jimmy Johnson is going to have to give up his chip to keep his spot. So he does. AJ Foyt, 4, which is good. 4, which is also good. And 6, even Jimmy Johnson can't fight off a 6 on the blue die. So Foyt moves to 5th. Now we check Mark Martin. 5, which is higher than his gas, so that's a failure. And now Kyle Busch. 3, 4, 5. So now he's going to replace Foyt as the 4 or the 5 spot, really. Changes hands a couple times in that turn, and that is the end of turn 21. We move on to turn 22. 1, 9. 1, 4. Yeah, 1 and 9. So top group 9 is Star. Fireball Roberts is a double star. He rolls a 1, 5, 1. So the 1 is not going to be good enough, but the chip will help him take the top spot. So he bumps Tony Stewart. Stewart drops to 7th. We have another lead change in turn 22 as Roberts takes the lead. Dale Earnhardt, also a double star, gets a 2, 3, 3. So the 3 would be a tie with Roberts, so that won't work, but he can try again. This time he will get it. So Earnhardt back to the lead. Kyle Busch does not have it. Edwards does not. Cale Yarborough double star. Rolls a 111, so that's a problem, and now we need to see what the problem is. 46. Smacks wall, internal damage, roll for repair. He's a B. We're in the middle third, so he needs an 8 or less. And he rolls a 10, so Cale Yarborough is out of the race. All right, so we'll check Jeff Gordon. He gets a 3, 6, 1, so the 1 is not going to be good enough. So Dale Earnhardt will finish this turn in first place. Everybody else moves up. We'll check AJ Foyt to see if he takes that open slot, and he does. We'll be checking Richard Petty. He rolls a 6. He has had terrible luck in this race. Fonty Flock needs a 4 or less, gets a 5, so he's not moving up. Next is Darrell Waltrip. And he also rolls a 6. Nobody wants to take this spot here. Lee Petty needs a 4 or less. And he rolls a 6. He almost rolled triples, which would have been bad. David Pearson with 5. 5 or less, he gets it. So David Pearson joins the middle group. Go to turn 23 and get a 4. So middle group 7 is Control. Control in the middle group. So we will start with the newly joining the group, David Pearson here. Rolls a 6, 6, 1. So that is not going to be successful. Paschal. 2, 5, 2, 5, 6. So that is Tony Stewart. So we do have a success move here. Buck Baker. 6. Nope. Junior Johnson. 4, 3, 6. So that's Kyle Busch. So Junior moves up and keeps his chip. And I believe he is the only driver right now who has a chip. Next is no Control, no. Kyle Larson. 1, 5, 4. So that's so Larson jumps into the top group. Curtis Turner, no. Matt Kenseth, no. Kevin Harvick. 2, 6, 1. That's Foyt. Foyt has the 1 for the group bonus, so he stays. Jimmy Johnson, starred Control, rolls a 6 on his first try, so he gets a second shot at this. And this time he gets a 1, 6, 4, so he will bump AJ Foyt. And finally, Mark Martin with the last chance here. 5, 6, 5, 5, 6, so that's a no. So that's turn 23. We'll go to turn 24. And a 6, so dual 11 is the number 3 cars in the middle group. So Paschal and Turner, they both have decent gas, 4 and 5 respectively. So we'll go with Turner here Actually, I think he's supposed to start with the odd driver, which is Paschal. So Paschal will go with Martin. He rolls a 5. He has a 4, so he fails. We'll now check for a problem, or trouble rather. That's right, we had to check for trouble. He rolls an 8. His escape is an 8, so he's okay. Now we'll check Turner, who will also try for Martin. He rolls a 6, so he also fails, and we'll check for him. And he only has an escape of 6 and gets a 7, so he is in trouble. We have to roll for a repair now. So he's a C, and middle of the race, he needs to roll a 7 or less. Rolls an 11, so he's out. So Turner is out. That, I believe, is a wreck, so he's out. And we get a yellow flag turn as well to complete 24 and 25. All right, so we know we're checking Richard Petty. I know he's got 5 gas, so let's just roll it. A 6 again. Are you kidding me? Fonty Flock. 3. All right. Richard Petty stays at the top of the bottom group. So we are halfway through the race. We move to turn 26. We get a 1-6. So that's 1-6 is top group skill. So probably a decent amount of skill up here. I see 4 of them. So we'll start with Jimmy Johnson. Rolls a 2-5-4. So the 4, he's got 4, so that's going to fail. Now we'll try Kyle Larson. He rolls a 4. That is what he has gas-wise. So 4, 2, 4, same thing. Dale's got 4. So that's not going to do it. Carl Edwards needs a 3. The 2 on the blue will sink that attempt. And Jeff Gordon has double skill. He rolls a 6 the first time and almost rolls 666. And we'll try again. And he rolls a 5, which is good. And a 5 on the blue means Jeff Gordon takes the lead. So Jeff Gordon to the top spot here in turn number 26. We have a pit stop turn, so we'll see how long Jeff Gordon's lead lasts. So pit turn 1, so we're looking top group, and 7, so 2 and 5. So 2 and 5 will swap spots, means Dale drops down to 5th. And on here, Tony Stewart and Buck Baker swap with Mark Martin and AJ Foyt. Now, top group will check for a fast pit. So we'll start with Jimmy Johnson, who has a 10. He gets a fast pit. Dale Earnhardt also has a 10. Also gets a fast pit. Fireball Roberts has a 6. No. Junior Johnson has a 7. Yes. So that's a second chip for Junior. Edwards has a 6. No. And Kyle Larson has a 6. Yes. I hope that's right. I think it is. So let's see who's challenging for the lead here. Maybe roll it inside the tower, Joe. 1, Kyle Larson. He has a chip and Gordon does not. So that means Gordon is going to lose his lead here regardless of what we roll. So yeah, normally that would not have worked, but Larson can spend his chip, which he will, and takes over the lead. So Kyle Larson comes out of the pit with the lead. Turn 28, 111. So problem, 1 is the top group. So let's see who has the problem. And red dye indicates top specific driver and top blue. Instead, if it's doubles, it would have been Kyle Larson. So it is driver 2, and that is Junior Johnson. Now you cannot use a performance chip to avoid a problem, so he has to roll for this. And he gets a 55. And a 55 is odd problem. Crew A or B, which he does not, he has a D. An A or B would prevent this. So now we check odd problem. He rolls a 52, and 52 in the odd problem is power steering problem. Roll for repair. His pit crew is a D. We are in the middle third, and D is you need a 6 or less. And he rolls an 8. So he is out, despite having 2 performance chips. Junior's out with a steering problem here in turn number 28. Check Buck Baker, see if he can move up to the top group. 3, so that will do it. I will check Richard Petty again. Can you not roll a 6 this time? Yes, finally, he gets into the middle group. I want to see if he can climb with his ratings. He's got 2 starred skills. I mean, he's a rock star, as we all know. So that's turn 28. On to 29. 1-5. So again, top group, reflex this time. Buck Baker gets a 1 and a 6. So good for him. Kyle Larson's stay at the top was relatively brief. Here in turn 29. But he's got several challengers to, the only one who doesn't have it is Gordon. So Fireball Roberts rolls a 6, so no. Carl Edwards rolls a 5, so no. Jimmy Johnson has a chip, so this is going to win even if it doesn't. He rolls a 3-6-2, which wouldn't be enough, but with the chip, it is. So he moves into the lead, and now Dale Earnhardt can try. And he rolls, he can use his chip to do it as well. So Dale Earnhardt back to the lead. All right. That is turn 29. Turn 30. 1, which is top group, and 11, which is problem. So again, we have to roll our indicator. It is 2, Jimmy Johnson. So now let's see what the problem is. It is a 33. A 33 is odd problem. With pit crew A, you avoid the odd problem. No, problem does not occur. So Jimmy Johnson with his crack pit crew avoids the problem. And we go to turn 31. And again, top group 6, which is skill. Again, we have a lot of skill. Well, four of the 6 guys in the top group have skill, starting with Kyle Larson, who rolls a 5, which is too high. Fireball Roberts, no, but Carl Edwards, yes. He rolls a 1-2-5, so he's actually going to knock Dale Earnhardt out of the top spot, as Carl Edwards jumps into the lead here. But he has to hold off Earnhardt, Johnson, and Gordon, and he won't. As Earnhardt, oh wait, he just took Earnhardt out, so apologies. It's Johnson. But that roll is good for Johnson, so he loses it to Jimmy Johnson, and now Jeff Gordon, who has double skill, can knock his erstwhile teammate out of the top spot, and he rolls a 5 and a 6, so he can do it, and does. So we had Edwards, Jimmy J, and finally Gordon take the lead. All right, on to turn 32. 5-7, bottom group control. Bottom group control. All right, we'll start with Joey Logano. 4-1-5. So that's Tony Stewart. That is good enough. Chase Elliott, he does have control, so we check him. He rolls a 5, so no. Ricky Rudd rolls a 3-3-5. So that's 3 odd, which is Kulwicki. So Kulwicki gets bumped. Ricky Rudd moves up. Terry Labonte does not have control. Bobby Allison does. He rolls a 2-4-1. That won't be enough, most likely. 4 is here. 1 is 2. Yeah, they both have a break. But it would have been Kyle Busch, so that fails because he's also got control anyway. Tim Flock, Fonte's brother, rolls a 4, which is good, a 5 and a 5. So that's 4. That's AJ Foyt. So Foyt gets bumped, and Tim Flock jumps up in there. Hutcherson, no. Jeff Burton rolls a 3-2-4. So 3-2 is Paschal, and so Paschal gets bumped in favor of Burton. Bill Rexford, 2-1-4. That is the even, so that is Joey Logano. So Rexford takes that spot. Casey Kane, no control. Marcus, 1-3-1. That's going to probably fail. So that's odd in the 3. Ricky Rudd does have control and a break, so that fails. Bill Elliott rolls a 6, so that's no good. Fred Lorenzo, 4-6-4. So that's even up here, so that is Fonty Flock. So Lorenzen. Now Ned Jarrett has control. He rolled a 6-2-6, so that will not work. Even though he has 5 gas, that's literally the only thing that could have stopped him there. Lee Petty, 4-3-3. So that is even up here. That is Rusty Wallace. That is good enough. So Lee Petty gets up here. Now Darrell Waltrip rolls a 3-6-1. So that's odd, which would be Richard Petty, and that's not going to knock the king off his throne in this case. So that is the end of turn 32. Bottom group checks can be a little tedious because they take a while. 4, so middle group, and 4 is trouble. So we have to check everybody to see if they escape, starting at the first spot, which is Rexford. So he needs a 6 or less, gets a 6. Harvick needs a 9 or less, gets an 8. Kenseth, 8 or less, gets a 7. Burton, 9 or less, gets an 8. Lee Petty, 8 or less, gets a 7. Ricky Rudd, 7 or less, gets a 2. Kyle Busch, 7 or less, 12. Kyle Busch, involved in a wreck. Mark Martin, 7, he's good. Tim Flock, 8 or less, rolls a 10. So we got 2 drivers caught up. David Pearson, 8 or less, that's 3. Fred Lorenzen, 6 or less, rolls a 4. And Richard Petty, 7 or less, rolls a 9. Terrible, terrible, terrible. All right. So let's see. We got to start with Kyle Busch. He's first. So he has a B, and we are in the final third. Let me think about this. We are at turn 33. I think this is the last turn of the middle third. So with a B, he needs an 8 or less. And he gets an 8. So he's good, but he goes to the bottom of the group. Now we check Flock. He's a B, so he needs an 8 or less. So he is also good, but he also goes to the bottom. And Richard Petty, he's an A. He needs a 9 or less and gets a 6. So he loses 1 spot, which isn't terrible, I guess. Actually, no, he's last. I'm sorry. Last. Those wrecks will mess you up. All right, that's turn 33. So now we have some spots to fill here. So Darrell Waltrip needs less than a 5 or less, and he gets a 3. He gets into the middle group. Next, Rusty Wallace needs a 5 or less, rolls a 6. Next, Ned Jarrett needs a 5 or less, gets a 5. And Fonty Flock needs a 4 or less and gets a 4. All right. Changes. All right. Turn number 34. 6, that's a duel. 8 is number 6 cars in the middle group, Fonty Flock and Ned Jarrett. So they're going to try for Rexford and Harvick. We'll go with Flock challenging Rexford. Gets a 4, so that is successful. So he's going to take that spot, and Rexford has to roll against Trouble. So let's see. He needs a 6 or less and gets a 10, so that's not good. He's an E. We are now in the last third, so he needs a 3 or less. Ooh, he got a 5, but that's not good enough. So Rexford is out. And we'll check. Jarrett will try to take Kevin Harvick. This kind of jumped off on me. It didn't matter. It's still good. So now Harvick has to check for a problem. He's a 9. He gets a 9, so he stays and avoids trouble. Well, let's see if Rusty Wallace can rejoin the middle group, and he can. All right. That's turn 34. We go to turn 35. 410. So 4 is middle group, 10 is TV. We only have one TV driver, and that is Matt Kenseth. So let's see what he gets. He gets a 2-2-5. So he is challenging Carl Edwards, and he is going to move up. That was a quick turn in turn 35. Next up is turn 36. Okay, so a real quick clarification. A couple turns ago, we had a yellow when Rexford was out with his wreck, and I rolled for Wallace to fill the spot. The proper procedure was yellow, turn, Wallace automatically bumps up. So I'm actually going to mark off a turn and put us at 37. So last turn would have been 36. And this turn is now 37. So we'll pick it up here in our pit turn. And we get a 1. So we're looking top group and 7, or 1 and 6 rather. So Johnson and Larson will swap. And down here, Fonty Flock and Ned Jarrett will swap. And Kevin Harvick and the aforementioned Rusty Wallace move up. And now we'll check the top group for fast pits. We'll start with Jimmy Johnson, who needs a 10 or less, gets a 6. Fireball Roberts needs a 6, gets a 5. Good job for his crew. Dale Earnhardt, a 10, gets an 11. Bad luck there. Buck Baker, 8, gets a 6. Matt Kenseth, 7, gets a 9. And Kyle Larson needs a 6, gets a 7. So good luck for some of these guys at least. As Buck Baker will move to 1, Fireball to 2, and Jimmy Johnson to 3. Now, who challenges Jeff Gordon? Number 5, Matt Kenseth. So he needs a 4 or less, gets a 6. So Jeff Gordon keeps his lead. We go to turn number 38. 5, bottom group, 8, Smart. Smart in the bottom group. All right, let's see what we got. So Bill Elliott. Oh, wait, we start at the top. That's right. So Petty, no. Tim Flock has it, though. 1, 3, 5. So 1 and in the 3. So odd 3 is Ricky Rudd. So Rudd will get bumped. Flock will take that spot. Next, we have Kyle Busch. Rolls a 6, so that's no good. Tony Stewart he starred Smart. 2, 4, no, 2, 2, 4. So even in the 2 spot is Carl Edwards. So he's going to take Carl Edwards' spot and get back into the middle group. Chase Elliott also oh, wait. Stewart can actually challenge again. I always forget that. And he gets a 1, 4, 5. So he's actually going to get all the way up to the number 5 spot. Strong move there for Tony Stewart. Now we'll check Chase Elliott, who also is a starred Smart. He gets a 4, 2, 3. So that is Kyle Larson, who has no brake. So Larson tumbles into the bottom group. Now he can also try to move up again, and he rolls a 6 this time, so that will not work. Alan Kowicki gets a 4, 5, 3. Even in the 5 spot is Fred Lorenzen, who has no brake. He does not have smart either. Not that that would matter, but not in that event anyway. Terry Labonte, 5, 5, 5. That's a problem. All right, let's see what he's got. He's got a 56, which is lost engine, out of race, yellow flag. So Labonte blows his engine here in turn 38. We continue on with Bobby Allison, who has a starred smart. He gets a 1, 4, 3. So odd in the 4 spot is David Pearson, who has a 3. Because he's got 2 brake, plus he has smart himself. So Allison has to try again. This time he rolls a 5, 3, 3. So we're looking odd in the 3 spot, which is Tim Flock. And this time it will work because Flock has 1, plus 1 for control is still only 2. So Bobby Allison jumps into that spot. AJ Foyt, 4, 4, 1. So that's even in the 4 spot, which is Mark Martin, and that's not going to work. Because Martin has a brake and a smart himself. Hutcherson, no smart there. Paschal, no smart. Joey Logano, 5, so that's too high. So nope for him. Casey Kane, 5, too high. Marcus does not have it. Bill Elliott does not have it. So we lose 2 turns there. That was turn 38. And we lose 39 on the yellow. We now go to turn 40. The last 10 turns of the race. So we got top group 7, which is control. We'll start with Dale Earnhardt. Gets a 166. So guess what? For about the 5th time in this race, he's taken the lead. Now, how long he can hold it, we don't know, but here in turn number 40, Dale Sr. to the lead again. Now we will check Matt Kenseth. That one did not. That is a 2, 3, 1, so the 1 is going to doom it to failure. Now, Stewart, no control. Jimmy Johnson, starred control and a chip. Gets a 5, so that's actually a no, that would be a tie, but he'll spend his chip. Actually, you know what? He'll keep his chip and he'll roll again since he has a starred control. That was a bad choice. Now he's got a problem. And that problem is a 14, which is cut tire to end of bottom group. Oof. And you can't use this on a problem, but he loses it for going to the bottom group. So he goes into the last place there, which is terrible for him. And I should not have done that, but that was the obvious move there. Fireball Roberts, however, has control and a chip, and I rolled the wrong dice. He gets a 6, which is too high, so he will spend his chip and take the lead. But Buck Baker is going to be able to take it away with a 4. He gets to keep it. He gets to keep it. So Fireball Roberts was briefly in first, but it ends up belonging to Buck Baker. We'll check Kevin Harvick. No. Rusty Wallace. Yes. Our bottom group here. First one up. Bill Elliott needs a 4 or less. And he gets a 3, so he's in there. All right. That was turn number 40. On to 41. 4, so middle group, and 9 is star. So we're looking for stars. There's a lot of stars in this group. So we're going to start with Bill Elliott. 5, which is too high. Ned Jarrett. 1, 6, 2. So 6 is Rusty Wallace. He is a star, and there's that, and the bonus. So that 2 on the blue will not work. Our next star is David Pearson. Right here. He gets a 3, 6, 3. So he is also looking here, and again, it's 3, so that's not going to work. Our next star is Bobby Allison. Gets a 4, 3, 1. So that's Tony Stewart. That will not work. No. So that's it. Turn 41 in the books. 6, 7. So a duel, and 7 is Fume and Feud, which we don't have any, so we ignore that result. So that's a short turn 42. We move to 43. 1, 6. So top group skill. Top group skill, we'll start with Rusty Wallace. Gets a 1, 3, 2. So the 2 will not work. So Buck Baker's going to brush that one off. Now we're looking at Jeff Gordon, who has double skill. He gets a 5, which is good, but that 1, not going to work. Now he rolls a 1, and again, he gets a 1 on the blue, so that won't work either. Now we'll try Matt Kenseth. And he rolls triple 2s, which means potential problem. 51 is spin, drop to front of bottom group. So he's going to go, all right. We'll keep checking, and then I'll readjust after. Tony Stewart's next. He rolled a 6, 5, 5, so that won't work. Dale Earnhardt. Nope, 6 won't work. Fireball Roberts doesn't have the skill. So Buck Baker stays in first. Let's check Kevin Harvick, see if he can join the top group, and he does. So Kenseth can try to get back into the top group with a 4 or less. He does not. Next up to try. No. It is Casey Kane. All right. That's 43. Now 44. 5, which is bottom group, and 10, which is TV. So we do have some TV guys in the bottom group, starting with Jimmy Johnson. Gets a 5, 3, 5. So the 5 is good. The 3 is here. It's Pearson, and the 5 is also good. So I'm going to put him there. Now we got to find the other TV driver, Kyle Busch. Gets a 5, 2, 3. So that's Bobby Allison. He's got 2, so he also loses his spot. Edwards, Kyle Larson. 5 is too high. Tim Flock. 6 is too high. EJ Foyt. Dick Hutcherson is not. So that's it. No, we got to do Kenseth. 1, 6, 4. So odd in the 6 is Casey Kane. So it is Casey Kane. Kenseth gets that spot. And now we're done. All right, that was 44. And we go to 45, and we roll a 6, so that's a duel. And 10 is number 4 cars, middle group. So that's Waltrip and Kulwicki. Waltrip will go first. He's going to go after Chase Elliott. He's going to get a 2, so he is going to be successful. Now we'll check Chase Elliott for trouble. His escape rating is a 7. He rolls a 7, so he's okay. Now Alan Kulwicki will challenge Burton. And he rolled a 6, so he fails. Now we'll check Kulwicki for trouble. His escape is a 7 as well, and he also escapes. All right. That's turn 45. 46. 1, which is top group, and 7, which is control. So we'll start with Kevin Harvick. Gets a 4-5-1. So the 5 gets ignored, and 1 is definitely not going to bump Buck Baker. So control, Jeff Gordon. 1-5-2, also not going to be good enough. Tony Stewart, no. Dale Earnhardt rolls a 6, so that's no good. Fireball Roberts also gets a 6, so that's that. And we go to our final pit turn. And it's 4. 4 is the middle group. And it's 1 and 2, so that's easy enough. And middle group, we'll check now for fast pit. We'll start with Kenseth, who needs a 7 or less. Gets it. 8 for Elliott, which is not too high. Ned Jarrett needs an 8 or less. Gets an 8. Fonty Flock needs a 5. Oh, gets a 4. Chase Elliott needs a 6. Gets a 6. Alan Kulwicki needs a 6, or 7 rather, gets a 6. Timmy Johnson needs a 10, gets an 8. Mark Martin needs a 6, gets an 8. Jeff Burton needs a 6, gets a 9. Darrell Waltrip needs a 9, gets a 5. So he's got 2 chips now. Kyle Busch needs an 8, gets a 5. And Lee Petty needs an 8 and gets a 12, so that isn't going to work. All right, so Petty didn't do it. And then Burt and Bill Elliott. Let's see who challenges for the lead off the pit. It is Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick needs a 4 or less. Gets a 5, so he doesn't do it. So Baker keeps his chip. So that is the final pit. And we go to 48. We got 3 turns left. We're looking top group, smart. So Harvick is smart, so he'll get the first crack at this. Actually, the first 4 guys are all smart. So 5 for Harvick is too high. Rusty Wallace gets a 3 and a 4, which would be good enough, so Buck Baker has to spend his chip. Actually, no, that's wrong. That was a tie. So Jeff Gordon gets a 4 as well, which again would be a tie. And Tony Stewart has 2 cracks at this, so he gets a 1 on his first one, which will be no good. Second try, he gets a 5 on the red, which is also no good. The blue 2 would also not have done it. So turn 48, turn 49, a duel, 7. That's fume and feud. Again, we don't have anybody in that situation, so we're going to move on to the final turn. Final turn. Top group, 8, smart. So we will, again, start with Kevin Harvick. I'm going to keep it 1-1-5. So we'll make Buck Baker spend his chip. Now, Rusty Wallace. 3-4-5, so that will do it. Rusty Wallace jumps into the top spot in the last turn. Okay. And he has to fight off Gordon and Stewart. And he won't do it. Gordon takes the lead. And now Tony Stewart, who has 2 tries. And he takes the lead. And that is going to be our race winner. Tony Stewart is your race winner in our Fantasy Southern 500 with the 75 Years of Racing Tribute Collection. Tony Stewart wins the race. Bobby Allison, who started on the pole, is actually, I think he was, he's in the bottom group, I believe. So Tony Stewart wins. Dale Earnhardt, 2nd. Fireball Roberts, 3rd. Jeff Gordon, 4th. Rusty Wallace, 5th. Buck Baker, 6th. Kevin Harvick in the 7th spot. Kyle Busch, 8th. Darrell Waltrip, 9th. Jimmy Johnson, 10th. Alan Kulwicki, 11th. Chase Elliott, 12th. Fonty Flock, 13th. Lee Petty, 14th. Jeff Burton, 15th. Ned Jarrett 16th, Matt Kenseth 17th, Mark Martin 18th, and Bill Elliott 19th. And then going from there, if I can pick the cards up, we have Casey Kane in the 20th spot, Dave Marcus in the 21st, Joey Logano 22, Jim Paschal 23, Dick Hutcherson 24th, AJ Foyt 25th, Tim Flock 26th, Fred Lorenzen 27th, Kyle Larson 28th, Carl Edwards 29th, Bobby Allison 30th, Ricky Rudd 31st, Richard Petty in a disappointing performance finishes 32nd, and David Pearson finishes 33rd. 10 drivers dropped out of the race. Those drivers: Bobby Labonte 34th, Bill Rexford 35th, Jimmy Johnson Junior Johnson 36th, Curtis Turner 37th, Cale Yarborough 38th, Dale Earnhardt Jr. 39th, Ernie Irvan 40th, Benny Parsons 41st, Buddy Baker 42nd, and Marvin Panch finishes in last place at 43rd. Those drivers did not finish the race. And there you have it. So that is the Southern 500 at Darlington Fantasy Version 75th anniversary set here from Play Games in Red, White, and Blue Racin. I hope you enjoyed it. That was a long one. So if you did stick it out, that's awesome. I appreciate it. I'm assuming many of you just kind of skipped around, but that's okay too. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. If you have any comments, questions, etc., feel free to post them in the comments section. I will answer to the best of my ability. And yeah, that will do it. Please consider liking, sharing, and or subscribing, as I always say. Anybody who is already a subscriber, thank you for your support. I appreciate it. And yeah, so until next time, my name's Joe. This is the sports edition of Hexton Countered. And until that next time, happy gaming.